Hi everybody and welcome to this 16th episode of HipHipBarbaKnitStories. My name is Linda and I'm talking to you from Reykjavik, Iceland. This week we reached 1,000 subscribers. I'm so happy and so thankful. So thank you to everybody who has already subscribed to my channel, and if you haven't yet, please press the subscribe button below. It helps other people to find me, and sharing is caring and everything. Like I said, my name is Linda. You can find me on Ravelry as HipHipBarbaKnit, and you can find me on Instagram as BarbaKnit. I will put all the contact information on where you can find me and notes about everything that I talk about in this episode in the description box down below, and also in my Ravelry group. The Ravelry group is called HipHipBarbaKnitStories, and currently we have a knit-along running that started September 15th, and it's running until no, it started September 1st and it's running until January 15th 2019, so it's not too late to participate. The knit-along is called Anything Icelandic Knit-along, and it's focused around Icelandic knitting basically. So you can knit a pattern by an Icelandic designer, or you can use Icelandic yarns, which is lopi, or you can use yarns that are hand-dyed by Icelandic hand dyers. So later this episode I'm gonna do the second draw from the Ravelry thread, and you don't have to have a finished item to be eligible for prizes. You only have to participate in the Ravelry thread, and then you will be out. I just draw from the discussion thread for the time being. Later, when we have about 2 weeks until the knit-along is finished, I'm thinking about opening up a separate thread that's only for finished objects, and then I'm gonna draw like the biggest grand prize from that thread. So, but for the time being, I have a lot of prizes to give away, so I'm trying to do giveaways. Like, I try to draw from the thread and do a giveaway like every 2 or 3 weeks. So there's plenty more coming, so no worries that you're too late or you're gonna miss out. And just taking part in the thread is a lot of fun, so please come over and join us for that knit-along. Okay, today I want to show you some of my whips. I don't have any finished items to show you at the moment. I have been knitting a lot. I finished 2 huge projects that I promptly sent out to Amsterdam for their photo shoot, and I've already seen some sneak peeks of that photo shoot, but one of them was the Texture Time Mystery Knit-along. I only had the border to do, and I finished that last week or the week before, and then I also finished another big project that's still top secret, but it's coming out later this year or early next year. I'm not really 100% sure. I haven't Stephen hasn't told me the release date yet, so we'll see. It's gonna come out at some point, and it's beautiful and big and colorful, and I really, really love it. So I will show it to you when I get it back, or when I have photos of something to share. Then I will definitely share it here on the podcast and on Ravelry and Instagram and stuff. So I only have whips today, but I have plenty of them. So I do have some content for this show. Okay, I'm just gonna dive right into this big pile of things that I have here. And over there, this bag here, this bag is a prize for the giveaway, and it's full of goodies, and I will come to that later in the episode after I finish talking about my whips. So first up, it's almost a half finished item. I finished one of the Avea mittens by Skein Knits. It's still missing a thumb, but I mean, it's still a half finished item. I haven't cast on the other one because I've been busy with other things, but it fits perfectly. I am so in love with it. Yes. And like I spoke about on my last episode, I wish I would have picked a little bit more contrast for the yarns, but I love the colors and the mittens fit me, which has always been a problem for me because I have small hands and gauge hasn't really been my strong suit. But like I spoke about in my last episode, if you want to do mittens, I highly suggest that you look into Skein Knits and her beautiful mitten patterns and her podcast, because she educates you on gauge and everything, and that's how I learned how to like get the results that I wanted for everything to actually fit. So this is exciting for me, and I love this pattern. It's so pretty. I wish it would show up a little bit more, and I haven't washed it or blocked it or anything. I just found it off a few days ago. But the yarns that I'm using for this project are, this is the yarn, and it's by the Fiber Co. It's called Cumbria, and the yellow colorway is called Buttermere, and the kind of oatmeal colored one is called Scuffle Pike. And I really, really like this yarn. It's 216 meters, 90% wool and 10% mohair. So I'm gonna come back to this project soon. I have a few other projects that I'm kind of focusing on more at the moment. So this is just, it was a super quick knit. I can probably do a mitten in like an evening or two. And this is living in my beautiful fringe bag that I absolutely love. Okay. The other whip that's been getting a little bit of attention are the socks that I'm doing for my mom. I mostly knit on these either on the bus or at the hospital when I'm doing when I'm feeding my nephew, my sweet little nephew. I will talk about that a little bit more later in the episode, but this is how it's looking. I'm almost done with the foot and almost to the toe. So a few more bus rides and a few more feeds and I will be done with this first sock. I still need to do the second one. The yarn is by Twisted Finch. It's a blue-faced Leicester and a nylon blend. And I cast it on 24 stitches, and I did a 1x1 rib, and then I went into knit 3, purl 1. I did a heel flap and a gusset, and then I continued the 3x1 rib for the front of the foot, but I mean underneath the foot is just stockinette stitch. And these are going to be for my mom, because my mom needs some socks, and she fell in love with this yarn, so it had to be for her. And she made me this DPN cozy that I keep on this project, and of course it's living in my custom made bag that my friend Lilia made for me. And this is like my sock project bag. Every time I finish a sock, I start a new pair and I put them in this bag, because it's just the best bag, and it's perfect for these one skein projects. The size is so perfect. The next project I'm gonna show you is living in this project bag from Dottir Dyeworks. She got permission from Mrs. Brown, who does the Mrs. Brown bags, to also do this, like knit up her yarns, take a photograph and print the fabric. So this is Cyros by my friend Taka, who owns Litla Prjónabúðin. This is my contribution for the Anything Icelandic knit along, and I'm almost done with the body of the sweater. I'm getting really close. It's almost done. It needs I think 5 to 7 more centimeters, and then it will be done. The yarn is Camaros Lama Wool. Camaros. And now I'm gonna change the battery because it's blinking. Okay, new battery pack, so we should be good for a while. Okay, yeah, that was my Cyros. The next project that I'm gonna show you is a new cast on. Stephen released this pattern in his autumn 2018 collection. I had previously, like a few months ago, sent this pattern out to testers, and I had of course seen Stephen knit it, and I desperately wanted to cast it on, but I just didn't have the time or the space to do it. Things were crazy and busy, and I had so many projects on the needles that I needed to get done, and I was testing the mystery knit along and all kinds of other projects. So I was like, okay, Linda, you don't have to knit everything at the same time. Well, I kind of do, but you know, I decided to be sensible and wait for a few weeks until, well, around the time that the pattern was released. So I did it. I could do it. I managed to wait, which is kind of unheard around here. I usually just cast on whatever I want to cast on whenever I feel like it, but this time my sensibility took over, and I'm super proud of myself for that. Now, I've done a few Vertices Unite shawls in my lifetime. I think I've done 4 or 5. I don't really remember. I love that shawl. It's kind of my go-to Westknits shawl. Every time someone asks me, like, what shawl pattern by Westknits do you recommend as like a gateway pattern? I always recommend Vertices Unite, because I think it's simple but interesting, and it's so much fun to play with colors in that shawl. I did one only made out of scraps, and I loved it. I just put a lot of scraps in a bag and I just drew from it and knit with whatever came out of the bag and just knit until that color was over, and then I picked another one, and I just, yeah, I love that shawl. I think it's super fun to knit. So then Stephen came out with Textures Unite, which is a spin-off of the Vertices Unite shawl. So it's kind of the same construction, but each section has a different texture, and I love it. I fell in love with it as soon as he started talking about it with me. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna knit it. I know I am. So I cast it on this last week, and I haven't gotten really far, but I have started the first section. And the first section is brios, and I love myself some brios. So this is the start. This is the right side, and this is the wrong side. If you can hear some meowing, it's my kitten. He needs a nap, but he's so energetic that he doesn't want to have a nap, but he should, take a nap. Anyway, back to the knitting. Enough about cats for now. This is the first section, and I'm a little bit over the halfway mark in the stitch count, so yeah, it goes super quickly. 2-color brios is just, it's a simple 2-color brios with some very simple increases, so it goes pretty quickly, and I find brios super addictive and super soothing as well, so I will plow through when I get back to this one. I wanted to show you all the colors that I'm using. So for this first section, I need to look at my notes because I don't always remember everything. The black one, this one, is from Usitita. It's called Look Behind. And the light one that I'm using is from Ching Fibers, and it's called Daffodils. And it's all single ply merino. Ah, he found something to play with. Nej. Walter, du kommer say hi. The kitty cat is coming to say hi. If I can get him up here. Hello. This is Walter. I've shown him before, but now he's getting big. Yeah, this is Walter. This is the noisemaker, troublemaker, and he really loves to play with yarn. And yeah, he's a sweetie. Walter. Yeah, for Lulla. Yeah, he needs a nap, but yeah, now he's trying to get my yarn. Okay, these are the first 2 colors for the first section, and then I have, for color C, I am using, this is also Ching Fibers and the brick colorway. This is a skein of brick that didn't really turn out as it should have. It should be a little bit more orange, but I love it anyway. I think it's beautiful. And then for color D, I have this gorgeous skein. Whoop, my yarn is falling everywhere. This is from Vivid Wool. My friend Tabdis. I signed up for her One Skein Wonder Club that was running earlier this year, and this is one of the skeins that I got. I love it so much. It should be called Linda because these are my colors. And then for color E, I have this beautiful green from HipHipBarbaKnitStories. Didn't write down the colorway, so I'll just take it out here. This is Merino Silky Single, so it's 70% Merino Superwash and 30% silk. Fancy. The colorway is called Neptus Seven. That's the colorway. HipHipBarbaKnitStories, one of my favorite dyers ever. I love her yarn. And then for my 6th colorway is Ching Fiber in the yak base, which is merino, silk and yak in the Hurricane colorway. Hurricane is one of my favorite colorways from Ching Fibers, and this is one of my favorite bases from Ching Fibers. And this was a gift from Steven a while ago, because I love this color and I love this base. So that's gonna be my Textures Unite. I am very, very excited about this project. I'm gonna do the smaller size. The big size is huge. It's bigger than the original Vertices Unite version, the big version. It's bigger than the big version of the Vertices Unite. So I'm gonna do the smaller version because it's almost as big as the big version of Vertices Unite. It's a little bit smaller, but I've tried on the big version of Textures Unite and it's absolutely huge, and I want a little bit smaller shawl, but still not a small shawl because I don't like small shawls. So yeah, I want to show you this project bag as well. I love it so much. It's from Jay, who is Stitch Mischief. I recommend her bags and her podcast. It's beautiful. She makes gorgeous things. So yeah, that was Textures Unite. The next project that I'm doing is for my sweet little nephew Eric, and it is a pattern called Urðarbrunnur. Try saying that 50 times. Urðarbrunnur. It's an Icelandic name, and I know it's not easy to say. But it's a baby cardigan designed by my friend Dagga, who is the owner of Litla Prjónabúðin. And I've finished the body and I'm on to the first sleeve here. But look at this. How sweet is this? I love it so much. It's a super quick knit. It's knitted back and forth. It's not brioche. This part here, it's not brioche. It kind of looks like brioche, but it's not. So this is gonna be for my sweet little baby nephew Eric, and this is being knit out of Yaku by Camaros, and the colorway is number 1980, called Mörk Sennep or Dark Mustard. Come on, focus on the label, not on me. There we go. And this is, like I've talked about a million times before, and I'm sorry to always be singing the same song, but this is... Okay, the kitten is trying to dig himself into the bag that usually holds my tripod. Okay, it's hilarious. Anyway, Yaku is kind of like my go-to yarn for, especially for baby knits, but I use it for shawls and other stuff as well because it's affordable. It's so nice to work with. It holds up really, really well, and the range of colors is spectacular. It's Danish, so it's kind of, I don't know, I love this yarn, and I think it's super super nice. It's super wash merino, so you can put it in the washing machine, which is always a plus when you have tiny babies and not a lot of time. So yeah. Ooh, I have the pattern printed out as well, so I can show you. Here we go. This is the sweater. And yeah, patterned by Guðmunda Dagbjört Guðmundsdóttir, who is better known as Dagga in Litla Prjónabúðin. And if you've ever been to Litla Prjónabúðin, you should definitely know who Dagga is. This bag is from the Smock Shop. It has a lot of cat hair on it, but it has some cute pins that I wanted to show you. My Sleeve Island pin, cute fat sheep, and this one. Rainy days are meant for knitting. I love this one. It's sparkly and pretty. So yeah, that's for baby Eric. And then I started another project. I wanted to make something for my sister. If you've been watching the podcast, you know that my sister has been really sick and is fighting cancer. So she needs a comfy sweater, and I decided to start a comfy sweater for her. So I talked to my friend Hafdís, who's the dyer behind Vivid Wool, and I sent her color ideas for the main color, and then I wanted just another skein that was undyed as a contrast color. So I started the Ingles sweater by Caitlin Hunter. Which is living in my super sweet kitty bag from her name is Helga Arnar. She has a podcast in Icelandic, but I will link it anyway. And she is a bag maker here in Iceland. She ships internationally. So the first giveaway for the Anything Icelandic knit along that I did on my last episode had a bag from her as a giveaway prize, and she was kind enough to give me one as well. So I love the pink, the super pink zipper, and this is a big bag. This is holding a sweater quantity of yarn and my Ingles sweater that I'm making for my sister. Okay, and this is what it looks like. I love it so much, and this, my friends, is a super quick knit. Super quick. The yoke took me one evening. Yeah, super quick. So I'm a few rows down from separating the body and the sleeves, and I did hold a strand of mohair with the white because I really like how it looks. Gives it like a beautiful halo, and I love this. I want to have it. No, it's for my sister, and the yarn that I'm using, like I said, is custom dyed by my friend Hafdís from Vivid Wool, and this is the color. I wanted, well, I asked my sister, I was like, I want to make you a sweater. I'm not going to tell you what sweater, but if you had to choose a main color and one contrasting color, what colors would you like? And she wanted like a brownish gray, and she sent me some photos and I forwarded them to Hafdís, and she nailed the color that we wanted. So this is Superwash DK, and this is the undyed one. It's just white, or not, it's not white, it's like off-white. and then I held one strand of mohair from, let me see, Angel by Permin DK. It's 70% mohair and 30% silk. And this is what I held. I held one strand of this throughout the yoke pattern. And I'm imagining that I'm gonna finish this in no time because it knits up so fast. I mean, it's DK, the yarn is so squishy and so nice, so I think it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be finished in no time, I imagine. But I'm in love with it. I think it's beautiful. And I'm alternating skeins. Now, I didn't alternate skeins until I was down, like I was done with the yoke. Then I started alternating skeins because I don't like alternating skeins when I'm doing color work. I have mohair in my face, sorry. Yeah, I don't like alternating skeins when I'm doing color work, and if the yarn pulls, it doesn't really show when you're doing color work. So, but this is not pulling at all. But as a general rule, I do alternate my skeins for big pieces like sweaters. So, see, there's no pulling or anything. It's just knitting up so beautifully. I love it so much, and I think my sister is gonna be super happy with it. She really she needs a sweater to keep her warm and, you know, to feel good in. So yeah, those are the whips that I've been working on, apart from finishing 2 other massive projects. Oh, knit life, you're such a good life. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna take a quick break and come back in a little bit. I'm gonna show you some of the things that I've been getting recently, and then talk about, then I'm gonna do a draw. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with a lot of stuff. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about okay, first I'm gonna show you, there are some, I think most knitters have like a wish list of yarns that they want to try out, or at least have in their stash. I mean, come on. Okay, my cat is going crazy again. And for me, I have always wanted some primrose yarn. And my husband went to another town, like 40 minutes drive away, called Selfoss. And there's a yarn store there that sells primrose. We don't own a car. We take the bus or walk or take our bicycles or whatever. We don't own a car, and we haven't owned a car in 8 or 9 years or something. So going there is not easy if you don't have a car. So he went there on a Saturday. He was taking photographs at like a judo tournament thing, and he stopped at this yarn store and he picked up a skein of primrose yarn for me. Yes, I'm a very lucky woman, I know. So this is primrose yarn in the spiced curry colorway, and yeah, my husband knows me. He knows which colors I like. So this is the Adelaide base, single ply fingering weight, 100% superwash merino. Sorry about the noise that the cat is making, but he's playing. So yeah, I got a skein of primrose, so check. My primrose yarn cherry has been popped. I also was lucky enough to catch an update from Kristen of Wool and Wine Yarns. I've wanted... Baldur! Sorry about this noise. Okay, I caught one of her updates a few weeks back, and I scored a skein of her Footsie Blueface Leicester nylon blend 2-ply sock fingering in the Deadly Nightshade colorway. I think it's amazing. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make socks. I think I'm gonna put it in a shawl. It's so pretty. And the minute that I got this yarn, I was like, I should have bought more than one skein. So I'm gonna try to catch an update again, because I know, I love her. I love her colorways. I think she does an amazing job with her dyeing. I of course have the new Lane magazine, and this is issue 6. They came to Iceland to do their photos, and they wrote some articles and stuff about Iceland, and they did an interview with Helen Magnusson, who is an Icelandic designer. The patterns in here are beautiful. I want to make everything as usual. Reykjavik. And there's a great interview here with Helen Magnusson, and then I found my friend Nancy. I love Nancy, Queen of Brios. So that was just icing on the cake. I mean, Lane magazine, I love it. It's made in Iceland. I love it. And then there's Nancy. Beautiful. Speaking of Lane magazine, sorry, I'm taking something from the cat that he's not supposed to play with. Speaking of Lane magazine, in issue 5, I have all the issues, by the way, because I am obsessed with this magazine and I think the patterns are great. In issue 5 there is Lotta dress, and my friend Tracy from the Passionate Spinner podcast made herself a Lotta dress, which is beautiful, and I want to make one too. I've wanted to make one since the magazine came out, but I've been busy. This dress, you've all seen it, you all love it. So, earlier this year I turned 40, hey, and I treated myself to Google to make the Lotta dress. I bought enough to make it in my size and in my color as well. I'm a huge fan of this ochre kind of color. Color's called something else. I don't know. It's not gonna focus. Anyway, tuku for the Lotta dress. So I'm not sure when I'm gonna start this. I have some obligation knitting. I want to finish the sweater for my sister and the cardigan for my nephew. I also want to make him a hat and some trousers. Yeah, that was my cat, Baldur. He's crazy, like I said. Yeah, I want to finish some knitting for my family, because that's kind of therapy for me, especially these days. And it really helps me deal with all the emotions that are going on, to be able to knit for them. So I want to finish that. I want to finish the knitting for my sister and her baby, and then maybe I will start my Lotta dress. I want to have it I want to have it finished before Edinburgh Yarn Festival next year, because then I want to hang out with Tracy, and we need to have a photo shoot of us wearing our Lotta dresses. Maybe if did she finish her tecumseh? Well, she's also knitting a Marled Mania cardigan, and I have a Marled Mania cardigan, so we have some matching outfits to do a photo shoot. So I'm looking forward to that. So I want to finish my Lotta dress before Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and I think I will be able to do it. Thank you for that, Kat. I also picked up, I'm sure if you've all seen this, all the podcasters have been talking about this amazing book by Tin Can Knits called Strange Brew, which was also shot here in Iceland. Oh, there goes my cat again. I'm sorry, but yeah, what you gonna do? This book is amazing. If you're new to stranded colorwork and sweater knitting, I highly recommend that you at least look through it, and I would recommend buying a copy. I want this one, in my size of course, but I want this sweater. I think it's so pretty. Well, everything in here is super pretty, and the photos are of course amazing because they are from Iceland. Well, they would be pretty. They would be pretty anyway, but everything in here is perfect. They go over swatching and gauge, and how you can mix and match your yarns to fit your gauge, and it's perfect. And I love that they used, can you see my cat over there? He's yeah. I love that they used their families as their models in this book. It makes it extra special, I think, and it's beautiful. So I highly recommend. So that's it for knitting content. Well, now I'm gonna do a draw. On the last episode, I did the first draw for the Anything Icelandic knit along that I'm running in my Ravelry group. I drew from posts 4 to 367 because posts 1, 2 and 3 were from me, explaining the rules of the knit along and linking to designers and dyers and stuff. So I didn't draw from my own posts because that would be unfair. And because I tried to participate in the discussion thread as well, if I draw myself, I'll just draw again. I'm not gonna take any prizes for myself for this knit along. So since the last post that I drew from was 367, this week, or for this giveaway, I'm drawing from posts 368 to 512. And I did a random number generator just before I stepped down to record this podcast, and the winner is post number 505, and the Ravelry user is called Kiwi Belinda. So congratulations, Kiwi Belinda, you have won a prize, and I'm gonna show you the prize that I picked out this time. So it's living in this beautiful project bag from Hob, H-O-B. She does project bags for knitting, And this is one of the ones you can just put on your arm, and you can have your knitting in here, and you can knit straight from the bag. And of course there are some prices inside the bag. We have some stitch markers from Prjónamerkin mín, which is my stitch markers in Icelandic. We have these two with the lobster claw, project keepers, and then we have 5 of these, and we have 5 of these, and then we have this skein of DK weight vivid wool in a unique colorway. It doesn't have a name, it's like a one-off. It's from Vivid Wool. It's DK weight, 100% merino, 230 meters. And then we have this bundle of 5 mini skeins from Westknits, which is also an Icelandic dyer. And let me see, here is the info, and I will of course link to everything down below. There's this dark blue, turquoise, super fun pink, and a yellow speckle and a pink blue speckle. So this is all going back into the bag, and congratulations Kiwi Belinda, this is your price. And if you could shoot me a message on Ravelry or an email, my email is barbaKnit@gmail.com, but contacting me through Ravelry is also effective and simple. Shoot me an email and I will get this in the mail to you as soon as I can, hopefully later this week if you have already contacted me. Also included in the price is a pattern of your own choice from Icelandic designer Auður Björt. So I will, if you just let me know what pattern of hers you would like. They are not all released in English at the moment, but there are quite a few. So if you just let me know what pattern you want from her, I will message her and she will gift you the pattern through Ravelry. So congratulations and thank you for taking part in this fun knit along that we're having. Okay, I don't have any more knitting or yarn or anything, but I am gonna update you a little bit on just life in general. If you're not interested, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I will see you again next time. For those of you interested, I'm gonna keep blabbering for a little bit. I've had a busy few weeks, like the previous weeks have been. I'm in full swing with my new job and loving it so far. I have been taking evening shifts at the hospital with my little nephew. If you follow me on Instagram, you have probably seen me spanning away with the baby photos. Not my baby, my sister's baby, who is doing beautifully. He reached the 3 kilo mark. I think it was yesterday or the day before. He is over 3 kilos now. He is doing really well. He needs to take some iron. Sorry, the cardigan. Some iron supplements and stuff because he's a bit low on in blood, which is really common with premature babies. But that's basically the only thing that's wrong. I mean, there's nothing wrong. He's doing so well, and he's so sweet, and I just love being able to spend my evenings feeding him and cuddling him and just taking care of him for my sister. My sister spends most of her days at the hospital. She has radiation therapy every single morning, so she goes to have that done, and when she's done with that, she goes up to the preemie ward to spend the day with her baby. And then I usually go to the hospital, or me or somebody else. It's not just me, me or somebody else, my mom or my other sister or some of her friends, go to like let her go home to rest and gather her strength for the next day, because the treatment that she's going through for her cancer is really, I mean, of course it's taking a toll, and I mean, she has this tiny baby as well, and it's a lot. So we are trying to do our best to do at least a little bit to help her out. The therapy with, like, the treatment that my sister is going through is heavy, and it's taking a lot from her, but she is doing really, really well. There's no change in her situation. The tumor is still there, and it's still not, I don't know how you say it, they can't really do a surgery on it and remove it because of the location and how big it is, and like the nature of the tumor is, I don't know medical stuff, I'm sorry, but they can't operate and remove the tumor because of some issues that I don't really know how to explain. But that's the deal. I mean, they would have operated and removed it if they, you know, if they could have, they would have done it by now, but they can't. So they are trying to get rid of the tumor with radiation and chemotherapy. And that's just in process, and there are no new news about it really. It's just they put down a treatment plan for like 5 or 6 weeks, and after that is done, they will re-evaluate the situation and see what the next steps are, like if they're gonna continue on the same path or if they're gonna change it, or we don't really know until these 5 or 6 weeks are up and the treatment plan is done. Then they will reevaluate, do some blood work, some CT scans and stuff like that, and then they will reevaluate and put down a new treatment plan, I guess. As for me, the sun is kind of peeking through my curtains. Wow, I didn't really remember what they were called. As for me, like I said, I'm enjoying my new job and the workplace and the people. It's a big place. There are 650 something people at the office, so I'm seeing new people every single day. But it's a good company, and I feel really good at the office. And then I'm knitting, and I'm taking care of my family and the little baby, and yeah, things are good. I've been trying to going to as many knit gatherings as I possibly can, because I really enjoy meeting new knitters and spending time with new knitters and getting to know the knitters that I already know about, getting to know them a little bit more and seeing what people are working on and what they're doing. And you know, it's really inspirational for me to hang out with knitters as much as possible. So I've been going to this new well, I've only been once, but I've been going to this new gathering that's every other Sunday or thereabouts. I mean, sometimes it's located in a cafe next to a theater. So when they have like a full-on shows at the theater, we can't really be there because we take up most of the space. So when they don't have shows running, we usually take up the space at the cafe, and sometimes they have like pop-up shops. Next Sunday, Helga, who made this bag and the last week's prize, or the last episode's prize bag, she is gonna be there with her beautiful project bags. And last time I was there, I recorded a little bit that I'm gonna insert here at the end. So I think that's it for me, and I will see you in 2 or 3 weeks. Who knows? It depends on the crazy schedule and if and when I can find time to sit down and record a podcast. So until then, I will see you when I see you. Bye!